I'm finally back for more updates on Lord of the Rings. I actually finished Fellowship of the Ring, so now I'm going to play a bit of catch up getting all the chapters covered via these little shorts here. So when we last left off, the Fellowship was just leaving Lothlorien, headed out on the Great River in these little canoes, and so this chapter is called The Great River. So they're going down the river Anduin, they're all trying to they strategize the best way to continue on their journey, but they're not sure if the entire fellowship is going to stay together because some of them want to go straight to Minas Tirith, some of them want to take different paths. Boromir is obviously the one that wants to go to Minas Tirith the most because he obviously wants to bring the ring there and wield it. Despite everyone else knowing that that's a terrible idea, he's become so obsessed with the ring. And speaking of obsessed with the ring, the characters are being followed by Gollum. And Sam notices Gollum. Frodo's noticed him previously, but hasn't said anything for some reason. But Sam knows how to be smart and communicate with the Fellowship, so he immediately says, like, dude, there's something fucking following us. And Frodo and Aragorn are both like, yeah, we know. And it's kind of making me realize that nobody in the Fellowship fucking talks to each other at all about really important things like whether or not you're being followed. The other thing is Frodo is noticing that Boromir wants to eat him like a snack, as my friend put it, and is also not saying anything about it. Kind of frustrating that Tolkien doesn't think to have the Fellowship communicate with each other. And this kind of plays into a problem that I've been kind of noticing this time in particular, which is that once the Fellowship gets together, a lot of the characters and characterization kind of falls by the wayside. I mean, Boromir is very well characterized, and you've got moments like with Gimli, where he's pretty talkative. But other characters, especially like Merry and Pippin, just fall off so completely that it's like they're not even there most of the time. And I find that with the book using as much time as it does talking about like the path that they're going out on and like every time they stop for lunch, I do find it a bit frustrating that very little time is devoted to fleshing out how the characters behave when they're in the Fellowship. There's also this weird thing with stakes that's continuing where a stake is established, like the fact that there's Uruk-hai or orcs on their tail. That's a high stake, but then on the other hand, they're taking their time, they're stopping for picnics and on like the shores and things like that, and they're like, well, they're not that close, they're probably the other shore down. So there's like this clash going on with the stakes and how they're being spoken and established for us, the audience. But yeah, that's me on the Great River Anduin. Hope you're interested in my updates as I continue.